and welcome. You're watching NewsX and I'm Savri Jindal. At least 9 people, including 8 women and a 12-year-old child, have tragically lost their lives in Andhra Pradesh's Srikakulam district after a stampede broke out at the Sri Venkateswara Swamy temple. Ekadashi celebrations turned tragic as the temple saw nearly 15,000 people gather over its capacity of around 3,000. Police have stated that the incident occurred due to the collapse of an iron grill near the temple's steps. The public, in fear, thought that something was falling and panicked. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has condoled the loss of lives and has announced Rs 2 lakh ex gratia for the deceased and Rs 50,000 for the injured. Meanwhile, Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu has directed officials to ensure better treatment for the injured. Authorities and local leaders have also been directed to monitor relief work at this site. Before we go across to our guests, we have collated some of the visuals from when this stampede took place. We've examined them, and let's quickly put those on our screens to help our viewers understand what exactly happened. Yes, there were as many as 3,000 people, the capacity that was, but there were as many as 15,000 devotees who came. What did that lead to? It led to panic on the ground, with a man jumping on a pole to save himself. This woman over here, many women over here with their baskets were crushed at the temple. Visual number 2 that we're tracking. There was a lady over here that you can see her falling, and as you can see over here, she fell. There were luckily devotees on the ground who caught hold of her, but like you can see in these visuals, and as I was saying in the start, there was a railing that was over here, a staircase with a railing that collapsed as soon as the number of people, as soon as there was overcrowding on the ground. Number 3, you can see this woman over here. She's being crushed by devotees all around her. She's there in a slanted position, asking for help, panting away in the visuals that we saw, asking for someone to take her out of this situation where half of her body is being crushed by the people who are there. Now, the visual that we're tracking over here, because there were of course so many people, as we can see in these visuals, people wanted to, of course, make space to stand. There was none, even to breathe. There were devotees who were seen throwing their belongings onto the streets to get some space, to breathe air, to get out of the situation that they were in. Now, the visual that we have been tracking very closely is this one. As you can see, devotees are literally on top of one another, trying to escape the situation that was on ground. You can of course see people over here. There is a lady over there who's fallen, as we can see in these visuals. Another visual that we are tracking very closely is this one. There were devotees who were pushed off the staircase because there was absolutely no room for people. Here is an aged person, an old person who's now taking support from somebody else on the ground. He's been perhaps pushed off the staircase. A lady also over there, quite literally asking for help. We can assume people over there were panicking, they were panting, they were not able to breathe, their bones are hurting, their muscles are hurting. Just imagine the situation on the ground where 3,000 people were expected, but 15,000 showed up. Here's another visual. A very shocking one, a very heartbreaking one, and nobody can imagine what this person went through. There is a devotee who had to dive head first in order to save herself. Like I said in the beginning, there are many people who've been injured on the ground at this temple, and as you can see, here is a visual of a devotee who literally had to dive head first to save herself. Right next to her, another devotee who was struggling, who was trying to get out of the crowd. Now, the visual that we've tracked very closely are of these women who were there on the edge of the staircase, and you can see how they're mounting on top of one another. Here is a larger picture of that, where you can't see space to move. You don't know where to go, whether to go left or right. You're literally stuck in that situation. Devotees were being crushed left, right and center. Another visual, a very tragic one, is of this old lady. Like I said earlier, there was no railing over there to protect the people. It collapsed. and devotees were being pushed. Here is a visual of an old lady who in a way is also diving head first. There's a person over there trying to help her, make sure that she doesn't fall, or even if she does, she doesn't get hurt in the process. But this is what happened. These are visuals that we picked up from a clip that was roughly 2 minutes. And you can just imagine what would have gone over there for the next minute, for the next couple of minutes of this tragedy as it unfolded. Another visual that we're tracking, and this one, I really don't know how to describe it. There's a woman devotee over there quite literally shouting for help as people topple all over her. This is what happened on the ground in a temple where there was a capacity for 3,000 people, 15,000 people showed up, and there has been a loss of life. Multiple lives have in fact been lost. There are people who are currently injured, getting treated. There are 2 people who are critically injured from the information that we are tracking. We'll take this conversation forward with our guests. Joining us on the broadcast, Dr. P.S.V. Rao, in fact, consultant surgeon, Manipal Hospital. We're also, in fact, being joined by P.K. Jain, former IPS. I'm going to, in fact, before I go to our guests, some breaking news that we are tracking very closely. Fresh details emerge of the tragic Srikakulam Stampede. Documents reveal that there were 15,000 devotees present for the Ekadashi darshan at the Sri Venkateswara Swamy temple, leading to the crowd surge. 9 fatalities have been confirmed so far, 7 occurring at the site, while 2 occurred at the hospital where injured devotees were admitted. My colleague Raj Kiran with us on the broadcast to give us more on this. Raj, of course, there is a detailed investigation that is taking place as we speak. What exactly is the information that we are tracking? Has the temple been cordoned off for the investigation? What is the update that we're tracking from the hospital as well?
Died undergoing treatment in the hospital, but however, 3 are seriously, 3 people, 3 devotees are in serious condition, and other 10 are stable. Their health condition is stable, but however, around 13 people are undergoing treatment in the CHC hospital in nearby Srikakulam area, in which when we go into the details, actually the authorities have made the arrangements for the 5,000 people, around in between 3 to 5,000 people. The arrangements has made by the temple authorities. However, but shockingly, suddenly 15,000 devotees have turned up to the temples as it is a Ekadashi, as well as the 3 events on a single day. One is the Ekadashi, and the Kartika Masam is going on. The south will celebrate Kartika Masam this month. So Kartika Masam and Ekadashi, as well as this Saturday. These three auspicious days on a single day, whereas this temple, Srikakulam, this Venkateswara Swamy temple, is also known as, recently it got opened last year, but it got very popular, calling this temple as a Chinna Tirupati. That means a small Tirupati, a replica type of a Tirupati statue of Lord Balaji also being placed inside the temple. To have the darshan of that Lord Balaji, it is also called a Chinna Tirupati. Right. And to have the Balaji darshan, the thousands of devotees came, in which this stampede took place, in which 7 people have died on the spot and 2 while undergoing treatment. Total 9 people till now. Officials have declared that 9 people died in this stampede situation.
All right, Raj, stay on with us. Let's quickly rope in our guests. Mr. P.K. Jain, former IPS, I'd like to rope you in, sir. What are the glaring lapses that you see in this situation that has unfolded, that has led to the loss of lives? One that I can see very clearly from the visuals that we are looking at is the fact that there was no police on the ground. Mr. Jain, if you can hear me. Right, continue.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I said I see a whole lot of lacunas in the arrangements, whether by the temple authorities or by the police. The very fact that they were expecting about 5,000 people and 15,000 turned up, but at the same time, as you are describing the scenario, even the staircase had not been properly guarded by the side rails. So that means there are some systemic faults in the arrangements, and some arrangements in terms of the access control, because what I read and what I learned was that some people tried to go into the temple through the exit door. Now, both the entrances being whatever they were, narrow and congested, it was not possible for the devotees without creating a massive amount of ruckus and this kind of a situation which has happened, unfortunately. So I see that both in terms of crowd control, both in terms of the precautions, safety measures involved, and the police bandobast, it all added to this massive tragedy which has unfolded today. And I think everybody, whether it is the local administration and the local police department and the temple authorities, everybody is responsible for this horrific tragedy which has happened today.
Right, absolutely. I request you to stay on with us. Dr. P.S. Rao, I'd like to rope you in and gather an understanding from you. The stampede that is unfolded, what exactly do you make of it? The way people were being crushed, there was no room to breathe. We just saw the visuals where people were doing whatever they could to save themselves. There were people who were being thrown off staircases, people who are jumping on poles, throwing bags here and there to get some space to just breathe.
Good evening. My condolences to those who have lost their loved ones. This seems to be virtually this year we have, at least I have joined on the telecast every second month for some stampede in one place or the other. From Hathras to the main Venkateswara temple in Tirupati to Chennai's air show to our own Bangalore's cricket stampede, all and I think it is the same problem everywhere. You see, when you have a density of people more than see, when it is about 1 or 2 person per square square meter, still people can move around. But when the density reaches 5 per square meter, this is well known internationally. When you have a density of a crowd more than 5 per square meter, people can't move. And so any panic or any sudden rush towards either the exit or towards the stage is sure to lead to a stampede. And one person falls, then others will trample that person, or even just crushing can cause death by asphyxia. That means you don't need to fall. Just the fact that there is such a crush that you can't even breathe, and it is the vulnerable who will die. And obviously, like Mr. Venkateswaran said, this is a fault of the organizers. You can't, after a stampede, say, "Oh, I expected 3,000 and 30,000 or whatever, and so many people turned up." It is up to you to have access control, like he said. You have to prevent people from beyond a certain number from entering that area. So you know the capacity of that area. This is a known scientific fact that you can't allow more than 2 people per square meter. So the area given, this is this is the only number of people who can go in. And if it is a event like this, only when certain number of people come out that you can allow further people in. And here people are trying to enter through the exit. How are you allowing that? This is how we are repeatedly having stampedes. Every second month I have been on your channel talking about one stampede or the other, and the story just keeps repeating because people just don't control it. And then it is very easy to keep blaming each other and blame all sorts of people, and then release some lakhs, some 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 5 lakh rupees to the dead. You are not going to bring them back to life, and this is a recurring tragedy. This is totally a question of crowd control. More than once you reach 5 people per square meter, people will die of asphyxia. You don't need to be trampled.
Right.
You just can't breathe at that rate. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. I request you to stay on with us. We have some more breaking news coming in. Fresh details emerge of the tragic Srikakulam stampede. Documents reveal that there were 15,000 devotees present for the Ekadashi darshan at the Sri Venkateswara Swamy temple, leading to the crowd surge. 9 fatalities have been confirmed so far, with 7 occurring at the site, while 2 occurred at the hospital where injured devotees were admitted. I have that document with me. If we could just take it on our screens to help us understand the information that we have as far as this case is concerned. So, of course, the location being the Sri Venkateswara Swamy temple. It's privately constructed, and it was in fact inaugurated 4 months ago. The incident took place at roughly 11:45 a.m. is the information that we have. There was a footfall of 15,000 people as per the MRO report. Devotees were present for the Ekadashi darshan. Now, the cause of the stampede that's written over here is that there was a large crowd reportedly surged forward when the temple opened, causing panic and a crush in the entrance route. A railing collapsed under the crowd pressure, which triggered the panic. Now, this is what I want to highlight in this report that has been put out. It says that the same route was being used for both entry and exit, which has now led to the death of 9 people, 7 on the temple, at the temple side, I beg your pardon, and 2 in the hospital. There are 15 individuals who have been shifted to the CHC Palasa. Of those, 2 people have succumbed to their injuries, 3 are currently in serious conditions, and 10 are reportedly stable at this point in time. Let me quickly rope in Mr. P.K. Jain into the conversation. Now, here is another important part of this tragedy that has come to light. The fact that there was, of course, a big jump in the number of devotees who came being number 1, but number 2 also being the fact that the entry and exit route was the exact same. What exactly do you make of this information that we're tracking? Okay, we've lost that line with him, but Dr. Rao is still with us on the broadcast. Dr. Rao, we're talking about lapses, and here's one, the fact that the same route was taken both for entry and exit. What do you make of it?
As I said just a few minutes earlier, you have to control the crowd, you have to regulate the exit and entry, and you have to keep a watch. Nowadays there are many ways of keeping it, with drones and with even security cameras and a walkie-talkie or communication going on between the security at the exit and the security at the entry. But if you are going to have only one entry and exit, you are asking for trouble. That is a short way of having a problem like this. Then you don't need 15,000. Even with 3,000, you can have that problem if you are going to have a entry and exit together. You have to separate it. And good crowd control is what is possible. There is an SOP, there is a standard operating procedure for it. And you saw that being used during the various other functions even this year. So where these people don't bother to plan anything, how can they have just one place for entry and exit? Obviously, you are going to have a stampede. And remember, on Ekadashi of this month, even in the main Tirupati, there are massive crowds. And there are, you have to have separate exit and entry and exit, and you have to keep calculating as to how many people are coming out before you let people in. And this whole crowd control has to be from a very great distance. It can't be just at the near the temple or near the event. Otherwise, you are going to regularly have all these Hathras incidents and even in the Tirupati incident, the Bangalore incident being repeated on a regular basis. This is absolutely no crowd control, no planning. The people who are organizing this have to be held responsible for this, and in future, anyone organizing any big event, they have to follow the standard operating procedure for these things about how to control the crowd and where to let them enter, where to let them out, and the whole design and plan for it. Yes.
Absolutely. I request you to stay on with us. We in fact have some more breaking news coming in. Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu has addressed the public over the Srikakulam Stampede. He has said in Kashi Bagga town, one private person has constructed a Lord Venkateswara temple in this Kartika season. Today, lots of people went there for darshan, at least when he organized this program, he didn't even inform the matter to the police. If he would inform the police, police protection would have been set up there and crowd would have been controlled by police. Take a listen.
Express our deep condolences to the loved ones who lost their lives in Kasibuga's tragic incident.
All right, Raj Kiran continues to be with us on the broadcast. Raj, help us understand what exactly is going on right now. The Chief Minister has also, of course, issued a statement with regards to the lapses. The fact that there was no permission that was taken from the government, the police, there was nothing of that sort.
Yes, Chandrababu Naidu addressing the crowd, addressing the party cadre at a private at an event, he said that, and he spoke about this Kasibuga incident which took place today morning around 11:30. So he was talking to the crowd, addressing the crowd. He said that today Kasibuga temple where the incident took place in which 9 people died. But thing is that there, Chandrababu Naidu clearly stated in the statement that there is no information to the authorities by the administration. The temple organizers have not informed the police about this event. And recently we have seen that Tirupati temple is Chinna Tirupati temple is very popular. Recently, from last 1 year, it got very popular, and thousands of devotees on every auspicious day will be visiting there. But today, as police will be arranging when the temple management will be informing the police, and police will be arranging all the arrangements. But here, in this today's event, Chandrababu Naidu said that police was not informed about this event, and the arrangements were done by the temple management by itself. So if they have informed the police, definitely the police might have arranged in a different way. We know, police knows how to arrange the crowd, how to manage the crowd. All these things will be, police are very expert in that. But whereas temple management did not inform the police, this is the main problem where misunderstanding took place, and this big incident in which 9 people died and almost more than 15 people were severely injured and undergoing treatment in hospital. This is what the Chandrababu Naidu said addressing the crowd.
All right, Raj, stay on with us because we have some more breaking news coming in. YSRCP spokesperson Karthik Yelapragada has launched a searing attack at the TDP government over the Srikakulam temple. The leader condoled the loss of lives, stating that it was an indictment of the government's failure. In fact, he stated that the incident was not due to unforeseen circumstances, but rather due to calculated negligence. Take a listen.
We want to express our deep condolences to the loved ones who lost their lives in Kasibuga's tragic incident today. It is so unfortunate to see the lives being lost in a sacred day like this, where this is a grave indictment of government's priorities and failures. This incident is not a result of unforeseen circumstances, but a direct consequence of calculated negligence by the TDP alliance. And if you see the status quo of Andhra Pradesh, police and other machinery are completely submerged in satisfying the needs of leaders, targeting YSRCP leaders and showing political vendetta, where their complete focus is seen there than showing their interest and efforts into incidents like this.
Raj Kiran continues to be with us on the broadcast. Raj, of course, a tragic incident has happened, but now we're seeing politics playing out as well. Help us understand the statements and the arguments that have been made.
Yes, we have seen counter-attacking by the YSRCP leaders, putting an allegations on the ruling party TDP and saying that it's it's a failure of the government as well as the security forces. Security forces are only concentrating on the accompanying with the political leaders, TDP leaders, as well as the doing the vendetta politics on YSRCP, wantedly criticizing them. This is what we heard from the YSRCP. Even the Jagan Mohan Reddy, the former Chief Minister, also criticized the government that there is not proper measures has been taken, due to which this big incident has taken place. And he also recalled the previous incidents also. This is not the first incident that took place in this year, but also he also recalled the Tirupati stampede incident, and also other Kalasti stampede incident. This is the third temple incident which stampede took place in the temple premises in last 10 months. This is what the YS Jagan Mohan Reddy said in his statement. And also we also seen that TDP countering that this is not time to do the politics. We are just concentrating on the how to help the people, how to come out of this situation. But after these all comes down, will definitely, already the inquiry has been set up on this. Definitely the action will be taken on the people who are responsible, who will be held responsible. Definitely the action will be taken on them. This is what we heard from the TDP too.
Right, absolutely. Dr. Rao continues to be with us on the broadcast. And sir, I'd like to understand from you, the first statement that you made when we started talking was the fact that what you've observed is that in every 2 or 3 months we're coming here and having these conversations about a stampede taking place, about people losing their lives. Do you think the number of cases of stampede have increased in the recent past?
Yes, surprisingly, this year has been, stampedes have been very frequent. Virtually every second month we have had a stampede. Obviously, lessons are not being learnt, it is not being implemented, and strict action is not being taken by the administration wherever in India on people who organize events without properly planning for it or getting official permission for it. And the Bangalore incident was also like that. They didn't plan for it, and then we had the stampede after that cricket event. We have had this Hathras incident. We had the, I'm losing count of the number of stampedes that we have had. And in various places, there was also a mini stampede in Mumbai when the Indian cricket team came back. And in Andhra itself, I remember it was exactly a year ago that we had this stampede in Tirupati. I mean, not a year, a few months back when we had it in Tirupati. If you have ever visited Tirupati on Ekadashi in this month, you will see the kind of crowd there is. And now that there is this option of Chinna, that means small Tirupati, the crowds there have also been huge. And today, crowds were to be expected. If the temple management hasn't called in the police and taken official permission, and they are wholly and solely responsible for this. I think there has to be severe punishment for these kind of negligence. Then only others will be afraid of doing it. I mean, this is like a crime, this is a crime on humanity, and the crime is being just ignored. I mean, there is no action being taken. There is no stringent punishment being given to such people. You start punishing one or two of these in these events, and you will see these people will be far more careful. Now no one cares, because no one has been, all these stampedes we have had this year, just find out how many of them have actually landed up in prison or been action has been taken. Just giving off a few lakhs to each of these people doesn't solve the problem. It's going to be recurring unless you enforce standard operating procedures which exist and take action against those who don't care to it. You will continue to have the same crime against humanity being repeated again and again, and this is what we are seeing this year. There have been just too many stampedes this year in India.
Right, absolutely. I request you to stay on with us. We have some more breaking news coming in. President Draupadi Murmu has spoken about the Srikakulam temple stampede in Andhra Pradesh. Taking to social media platform X, she wrote that she's shocked about learning about the loss of lives in the tragic incident at the Sri Venkateswara Swamy temple in Srikakulam, Andhra Pradesh. She extended her deepest condolences to the bereaved families and is praying for quick recovery of those injured. Raj continues to be with us on the broadcast. Raj, of course, now the president also expressing her condolences. We've of course seen the fact that there was a statement also that was issued by the PMO that there is going to be an ex gratia of rupees 2 lakh that is going to be given to the family of the victims. What more can you tell us?
Yes, the Draupadi Murmu, President of India, has reacted on the Srikakulam incident, and she has expressed the deep condolence to the family who died in this incident. And also, we also seen Prime Minister Narendra Modi office has tweeted that 2 lakhs rupees ex gratia to the people who have died in this incident, and also 50,000 ex gratia for the people who are undergoing treatment in the hospital. And also, we have seen using the social media platform X, many leaders, national leaders, even the Amit Shah and JP Nadda and the other union ministers and local ministers, Andhra Pradesh ministers and other leaders from throughout India has expressed their condolence towards the families of the victims who have been died in this incident. But now we have to see what exactly the action will be taken on the already the Chandrababu Naidu has said that he has put a detailed inquiry on this incident, and now the case has been registered on the temple authority as well as the person, one particular person who is running this temple without taking any permission from the police and the officials of the endowment department has been booked under the BMS sections, relevant sections, and definitely the action will be taken on him. We have to see what type, what exactly the government is going to do on this particular incident. Why? Because this is not the first stampede which took place in the Andhra Pradesh this year. This is the third incident which has been took place in the temple premises. One is that we also seen on the January 7th in Tirupati at the time of Vaikuntha Ekadashi. This instant stampede-like situation has been raised in Tirupati premises, temple premises. Now this is the second incident, and one more incident which took place in the East Godavari district in the month of March, in between March and April. So this is the third incident. We have to see what exactly the government is going to do to prevent this type of to come out of this type of incident which are continuously taking place in last few months. This is the third incident that has taken place only in Andhra Pradesh.
Absolutely, Raj. Thank you for sharing all those details. Dr. PSV Rao, appreciate you joining us on the broadcast and sharing your valuable inputs with us. On that note, a quick short break. Thanks for watching.
भारत सरकार ने सभी देशवासियों के हित में हेल्थ